Happy lunch hour, gang. Okay, it's Saturday. It's raining, so there's not a whole lot I can do outside. And fortunately for me, I've got a lot of my projects done this week. God knows I'm doing anything and everything. But looking around, figure, okay, if I can't do much outside right now, maybe I'll go get a little bit of an education on some of the things that I'm not so good at. Okay. All of us watch YouTube. Yeah, I mean, YouTube is great for, geez, I need to fix, I don't know, pick something, your dishwasher. And, all right, how do I replace this certain part and get, somebody's made a video somewhere along the lines of walking through the repair that you need to make. And great, don't have to call a service guy or whatever. You can learn something, right? It's no different with all of us in the prepping community. There's a lot of people out here with a lot of knowledge that they're willing to share. None of us know everything. Anybody that claims that they do is a fool, all right? Are there things I know better than other people? Yeah. Are there things other people know better than me? Absolutely, okay? That's why we continue to educate ourselves, to learn, to come up with ideas, to figure out, like I was talking about in the video the other day. Watch how somebody else does something and then adapt it to your situation. And hey, I could do something similar, but this is how it works for me. And you get some ideas. Maybe it's something you've never even thought of before. Okay. Now, a lot of us have our go-to channels. For some of you guys, mine is one of them. Okay. You know, maybe you watch Danny and Wanda, Deep South Homestead, or Magic Prepper, or Angry Prepper, Alaska Prepper, or Poplar Report, or anything. All these channels, these large channels that put out good information. You know, I've mentioned all of them. I've talked to many of them. We're internet friends. We've talked on the phone, emailed back and forth. All of these guys, right? But all of us, the ones I just mentioned, at one time were small channels. We were just getting started. And we all figured we'd start a YouTube channel because we thought we had good information to put out. And obviously other people agreed because our channels have all grown. Well, the one thing about YouTube is there's constantly new people starting channels with good information to put out. And the hard part is getting off the ground, okay, for those channels to have people find them. They don't even pull up in recommendations or anything like that. So I thought I'd do something a little different today. And some of the smaller channels that I watch, that I found through searches on God knows what, started watching their channel and seeing what they put up. And there's good information on them. Hey, you guys know as well as I do, there's good channels out there and there's garbage channels out there. People that try it figure, hey, I'm going to get rich doing this. They try it for a couple of months and go nowhere. Okay. The ones who keep going aren't doing it because, oh, gee, I'm going to open a store and sell merch. No, they're doing it because they want to share information with other people. They're altruistic, which is the good YouTube channels. That's what they do. They try to help other people, whether it's through charity drives or whatever, putting information out. However, they're all trying to build communities. So I thought I'd go through here real quick of a dozen channels that I find interesting, putting out information that I think more people need to look at. So without further ado, let's take a look at 12 of them. Okay. The first one, Sassy Gal Prepping. Now, go look at what she's put up. Her most recent videos on homeschooling and on the Bible. Okay? I don't know squat about homeschooling. I don't have kids that I do it with. So I couldn't tell you what books that need to be purchased or what you need to do. But she goes in and talks about this stuff because she's actually doing it. Could that be worthwhile in a SHTF situation? Are there any people in your mag that have kids? Maybe worthwhile looking at. Number 2, Mimi's Place. This one's different. Mimi talks a lot about food, budgets, recipes that you can make on the dirt cheap. Now, we've done a few with Cooking with Mrs. Pinball, but Mimi does a whole lot more with a completely different type of menu. And y'all know as well as I do that when it comes to cooking in an SHTF situation, you're still going to want diversity. You're not going to want to eat beans and rice every day of every week of every month. You're going to get sick of it. Okay. So Mimi's Place, good place to look. Maybe you pick up some shopping tips or some recipe tips. Number 3, how about Celebrating Farm Life? Another good channel. I don't live on a farm. Okay. Do I know how to handle livestock or goats, cows, anything like that? No, never done it in my life, but I may need to. Other things they can show you. Maybe they have a different way of growing corn or grow something different that you want to learn how to do. Another good channel to check out. Number 4, Surviving in Alabama. Okay, now we've done something, his recent videos, as he's calling it, redneck engineering. If you remember, maybe about a year ago, we did a video on some redneck engineering, some different ways to do things. You guys came up with a boatload of ideas that you sent me. Here's some other ones. Taking what otherwise would be garbage and figuring out how to make something out of it. I did something similar the other day. I used some scrap wood I had from building all those shutters and made 4 carpenter bee traps out of it. Rather than go in the garbage, I made something productive. Here's some other ideas. Number 5, Purposeful Prepper. Okay. She's talking about a bunch of stuff on economics, things, inflation, that sort of stuff, but also some things on people with disabilities. Okay. There might be something worthwhile listening to that you can figure out what she's done. Maybe you can adapt it to yourself. Next one, American Reversion, political commentary. You get a lot of that from me. Here's a different point of view. Also, maybe something, well, maybe not different point of view, same point of view, I guess, but different ways of thinking about things, and maybe he's found something different than I have, something to look at. Southern Tier Prepper. They are going through an unforeseen disaster right now. How to deal with insurance companies. All of a sudden, a tractor went through their house. Interesting. Maybe they can explain some of the pitfalls that they have run into on something that nobody planned for and nobody expected. Okay. Prepper Dog. He's talking about politics and all the protests right now. Maybe he's got different information he's found that maybe I haven't. Okay. Or reason I watch some of this stuff. Other people find things that I don't know about. Backyard Musings. Steve is actually somebody I served in the military with. But he's been talking about the political scenario right now and a lot of stuff on immigration. Good to hear that, especially seeing as how he's in Southern California. I think he probably has a pretty good grasp on what's going on with the border crossings of all the illegals lately. Orlando Prepper. There's another good one. He's been talking about lately on alternative lighting and power generation. Maybe some different products or some different ideas than I've had. Next one, the Rural Report, Rural 2IC. Okay. He's been talking about weapons, specifically knives and guns. A lot of you guys ask me questions on what would be the best gun or what would be the best knife for me in this situation. Maybe he can help you get to a starting point before you find what you're most comfortable with. Smoke and Swamp Outdoors. He's been talking lately about gardening in the Deep South. Maybe you live down in Mississippi or Louisiana or something. Gardening, the way I garden up here may not be pertinent for how you garden down there, right? These are just the recent videos that these guys have put up, but every one of those channels puts a lot of effort into showing and helping and discussing different topics with different points of views, different ways of doing things that each one of us has. Again, nobody has all the answers, but collectively between all of us, we've got 99.99% of them. It's just a matter of knowing where to look. Some of these folks subscribe to this channel. Some don't. I watch their videos. Why? Because they put out good information that maybe works for what I want to do at the moment, but also maybe gives me some knowledge for something I may have to know later. And I can go back in the brain cells and go, oh yeah, I remember a year ago watching this video and they did this. That's the point, guys. These small channels eventually will be big channels because they put out good information. They just need people to find them. And I know what it's like to start from the ground up. There were many channels that helped me. Angry Prepper, Alaska Prepper. I mean, they were a couple of big ones. Patera, another one. Helped people find me. And apparently 100,000 of you guys think it's worthwhile to subscribe to my channel. Each one of these guys should have 100,000 people subscribing to their channel too, because they put the work in and you guys get to benefit. Go check them all out. Maybe you like them, maybe you don't, but I'll bet there's at least a few on there that you've never even heard of that is at least worth going to look at. Have a good Saturday. Pinball out.